Myself and photojournalist Vincent Parker are here on Newcastle Road, and you can just take a look behind me. I was able to speak to two neighbors this afternoon, one who lives right next door to the 9-year-old boy who was shot, and one who lives across the street whose home was also hit by gunfire. Well, Sarah, more than 5 million children have tested positive for COVID-19 since this pandemic began, and a pediatrician here at Children's of Alabama says that's because of the Delta variant. Well, Morgan, this was actually the second time that review board has met since it was created back in April. Now, its purpose is to provide transparency and accountability of the city and the police department, and also review alleged complaints of misconduct from the community. As I've been here in the Mount Olive community all day long, some of the most significant damage that I've seen is from homes where trees have toppled onto those homes and caused significant damage, as is the case here at this home on Mount Olive Road. This mobile morgue can hold up to 16 bodies, and that's especially important right now because they're running out of room to house those bodies, with COVID deaths rising in Walker County. Be with the pace of grace, and I think we all need some of that right about now. She says we all want things to get back to normal, of course, but for right now we just have to be okay with things not being okay. Car after car forced to turn around at the intersection of 17th Street Southwest and Jefferson Avenue after being met with the same Norfolk Southern freight train that's been stalled on the track since Thursday of last week.
It's been an ongoing fight for years that went straight to Congress and still hasn't had any resolve.
Neighborhood Vice President Rihanna Bass says the blockage is a public safety issue and a headache for commuters, making them late for work and school.
Your GPS won't reroute you to another direction. You literally have to get out your car to ask someone to reroute you. So it's an inconvenience, and it's hindering our lifestyle here.
Tiffany Lewis is the florist and owner of Sandy's Flowers. The stalled train is just steps away from her front door, which she says is bad for business.
It's impacted the business greatly because we cannot get the walk-in customers that's used to just passing through.
WBRC has made several attempts to get on-camera interviews with Norfolk Southern, trying to get an answer for when the train will be removed. Our requests have been denied. Birmingham city leaders say the stoppage is due to federal COVID-19 vaccine mandates, which have caused a shortage in staffing for the rail company. But neighbors say they're not buying it and are drawing their own conclusions.
There's a train stuck on the track in Trustville. It's gone. What's the problem? What is the excuse? You're short-handed, but you got the train off the track in Trustville, which is a Caucasian area predominantly, rich area predominantly, real rich area too. We're just in a different area. So what's the problem? Is it because we're in the hood, you're gonna make us last?
Like many Alabamians, Justin and Mel Moon were on the fence about getting vaccinated against COVID-19. The 36-year-old former football player had no underlying health conditions and was in no rush to get the vaccine.
You try to stay in the middle ground and listen to both sides of politics, so you kind of have to cipher through things and figure out what portions of it you believe and what portions of it you don't.
But eventually the Moons decided the vaccine was right for them and made appointments to roll up their sleeves. But about 10 days prior to the date, Justin developed a headache and cough.
We had one of those little O2 meters that you wear on your finger. And I woke up one morning, short of breath, put that thing on, and it said 82. And it's supposed to be 90 or above at a minimum.
Justin's symptoms escalated quickly. He was admitted to the hospital on July 21st and would spend the next 79 days at UAB Hospital, 39 of those days spent on a ventilator. Justin had liver and heart problems, and doctors had to revive him 3 times.
And then the bottom of his lungs started to crystallize, and they said that it wasn't accepting oxygen anymore. And on a Wednesday, they called and told my daughter that they needed to mentally prepare me to come and tell him goodbye by Friday.
The Moons say it's a miracle Justin is alive and say the vaccine is the answer to prevent other families from enduring the suffering they've experienced.
Hopefully someone will look at me and what I went through, what we went through, and take that to heart.
Think about putting someone in your family through what I went through. If you don't feel like you should do it for yourself, please do it for all of the people that you love.
Gave the people the money.
6-year-old Justin Adams was a little shy as he explained why he wanted to donate money to the people of Fultondale.
So they have stuff to buy.
But his compassion and desire to give was anything but timid. Tell me how you're feeling right now after you did such a special thing yesterday.
Happy.
Justin and his grandmother made the drive from Calera. When they got to Fultondale, Justin requested to speak to the mayor, who says he was honored to receive the donation.
This is what he handed me and said that he wanted it to go to the people that was in need. You know, that was his savings, and that's what he wanted to do with his savings. And he wanted to be involved just like everybody else.
And helping others seems to run in the family. Justin's father is a paramedic and his mother is a nurse. His grandmother, Rhonda Johnson, was packing up supplies to take to Fultondale when Justin asked if he could help.
Justin says, can I give them the money out of my piggy bank? And I said, sure. So we went and got his money out of his piggy bank to take up there.
It just makes us extremely proud of him, you know, proud that he's stepping up, supporting the community, and, you know, hopefully starting a good legacy of things to come.
Kinks, coils, curls, waves. The textures of our hair are as varied as the hues of our skin, and the hairstyles we choose to wear are a reflection of who we are.
Hi, my name is BB, and I love my hair because it's expressive.
I love my natural because it is versatile.
I have to have options for my hair. I've been wearing sister locks for 18 years.
I love to change my color up from red, orange, black, maybe even blue one day. But I love my hair because I can wear it any type of way, any day.
I'm Tanya, and I love my braids.
I'm Sharifa, and I love my locks.
But as more Black people embrace the natural strands growing from their heads, many realize the fight toward racial equality includes hair.
I think subconsciously, a lot of people don't understand the issues that we go through. A lot of people don't understand the invasion of our privacy that we get when we are natural. You'll have people that walk up to you and say, "Can I touch your hair?" And I'm like, okay, in what world do you walk up to a complete stranger and you just want to touch their hair?
At issue, hair discrimination, a form of social injustice targeting those with Afro-textured hair.
For me, it is an expression of who I am.
Many in the Black community say they felt pressure to conform to a more Eurocentric standard of beauty after being told their hair was a distraction, unprofessional, unattractive, or even unclean.
I did have people frown upon me because the ignorance about locks is that when I first got them, people were thinking that you didn't wash your hair, there wasn't manicured, it wasn't good hygiene. And I had some clients and some associates to question my hygiene because of my hair, which I thought was just ridiculous and stupid. I'm like, so you think I do hair for a living, I'm a professional cosmetologist, and I'm walking around here with hair that I never shampoo, that is not kept, and you know, bad hygiene. I mean, part of what I do is hygiene and beauty, so come on, let's be reasonable.
I have felt, you know, that I had to straighten my hair, or that I remember Googling, asking my Black female friends, what's more professional, box braids or single-leaf twists? How should I wear it? And nobody should have to do that, because unless I'm thinking of something else or I'm just not remembering anything, I don't know any other race that has to think about what hairstyle they have to deal with.
Sadly, this form of discrimination isn't new, dating back centuries. And recent studies show Black women are 80% more likely than white women to believe they need to change their hair to fit in at work, and were more likely to be sent home from the workplace because of their hair.
I feel angry because, number one, you cannot tell me why you sending me home because of my hair. I just got my hair done, so I know it's neat, I know it's pretty, and I know it look good. So what is your issue with my hair? Because I decided to fix my hair in a different way other than what you're used to. And it's unfair, and it's just time out for discrimination. Since being a state representative of District 58, sitting in this seat, I think this job has put me more on my knees than any job I have ever had in my life, because you see so much. You see the blatant racism.
But this isn't just a workplace problem. Many schools have controversial dress code policies some say unfairly target Black children. In 2017, twin 15-year-olds Maya and Deanna Cook were given detentions when their school officials at their Boston, Massachusetts charter school determined their professionally braided hair was in violation of a school policy. The same thing happened in Terrytown, Louisiana in 2018 when school leaders at Christ the King Middle School expelled a girl because of her braids, saying the hairstyle was, quote, unnatural. And who could forget Andrew Johnson, the New Jersey teenager who was given an ultimatum, cut his locks or forfeit his wrestling match.
When they took him there, they knew he had locks. Who told them to pick up a pair of scissors and alter a child in front of the world like that, just for a match? Somebody should have been his advocate.
I was floored. I understood he wanted to compete. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he put a lot of time, effort, and energy to be in that position, and he wanted to see it through. I was so mad that I felt like somebody should have came and championed that boy and kept him from having to cut his lock.
We need the Crown Act.
But a movement to end hair discrimination is gaining ground across the country. The Crown Act, a law that prohibits the denial of employment and education opportunities based on hair texture or protective hairstyles like braids, locks, twists, or bantu knots.
What does Crown stand for? Creating a respectable and open world for natural hair. And that title in itself is just beautiful. I think respect is the one word, just respect my DNA, my heritage, who I am as a person that I cannot absolutely change.
The Crown Act was created by Dove and the Crown Coalition back in 2019, ensuring legal protection from disciplinary action for certain hairstyles worn in the workplace and schools.
It angers me a little because this is 2021. Why do we need a bill for this? This should be automatic. I'm not gonna get emotional, because it rattles me. But we have to come up with a bill so for us not to be discriminated against our hair.
The Crown Act was first introduced in California and became law there in 2019. 6 other states, including New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Colorado, Washington, and Maryland, have also adopted the Crown Act or similar legislation. And many here hope Alabama will be the 8th state to join the movement.
To be an ambassador for the Crown Act, basically you are taking on the role for your city, seeing how you can push this organization, this grassroots organization, and how we can help here in Alabama. We're trying to establish a bill where you don't have discrimination against your natural hair in the workplace.
I started on this bill, which this session is HB 87. And I started working on this bill, and I also got a colleague of mine who was an attorney. He started working on this bill with me because he saw the pushback that I was getting from this bill. This bill is called the Civil Rights Act of Alabama, which is also adopted by the Crown Act. We've gone through enough. And I think to me, with everything going on, I think this is the right time for this bill because it's time out for discrimination, because of how we look, because of how we wear our hair.
We want to make sure that they hire you or keep you on the job because you are qualified, you have the credentials, you have the experience. Like, that's what should matter most.
We need the Crown Act.
For many Black people, hair is about self-expression. And for us, it's more than just a fashion statement. It's a symbol of pride and identity. So whether you choose to wear it relaxed, natural, braided, locked, or otherwise, it should boil down to choice. A developing news story out of Birmingham where police say a 2-year-old girl was shot this afternoon. Investigators say the toddler was shot near 1st Avenue Southwest. They believe the child was caught in the crossfire after an argument broke out between a group of men nearby, which led to that shooting. The little girl was taken to Children's Hospital for treatment and is expected to survive. Police have not released any information about arrest or charges in this case. It's been a violent weekend in Birmingham. Overnight, police responded to 2 deadly shootings. The first happened in Norwood around 10:30. Officers say spotter picked up gunfire on Avenue L, and when they arrived, they found a man lying in the driveway dead from an apparent gunshot wound. The victim has not been identified, and no one is in custody.
The area that we're in is a heavily populated residential area. So we're asking if anyone may have seen anything or heard anything, or maybe even captured some events on surveillance footage. Please give us a call. You can remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers.
About 30 minutes later, officers were called to a shooting on 17th Avenue North in Inslee, where they found a man shot to death in the driver's seat of a car. Investigators say it appears some kind of argument led up to the shooting. A suspect was taken into custody from the scene for questioning, and so far, no charges have been filed. New tonight, Governor Kay Ivey adding her name to a growing list of states filing a lawsuit over the federal vaccine mandate. In a release today, Ivey saying, quote, "I have joined a lawsuit to fight back against the outrageous, overreaching Biden vaccine mandates," end quote. Ivey recently signed an executive order forbidding state agencies from enforcing the federal vaccine mandate. However, the order does nothing for federal employees in the state. Americans who have been infected with COVID-19 are being advised to get the jab anyway. This comes as the vaccine has been approved for younger children. David Lee Miller on your side with more from New York. It was a big day in Birmingham with thousands of fans packing into Legion Field for the 80th annual Magic City Classic. The Alabama State Hornets fell to Alabama A&M Bulldogs 42-28. This year's experience was a return to some normalcy for these fans with pre-pandemic style parties. Lauren Jackson is on your side now with more on what it was like for fans. New tonight, a big win for Auburn Tigers at home, beating Ole Miss 31-20. Bo Nix and the Tigers offense finished the night with 483 total yards. This is Auburn's 6th straight win over Ole Miss. The Tigers are now 6-2 in the season. They'll head to College Station to take on the Texas A&M Aggies next Saturday. Well, Mickey Ferguson is on your side now tonight, tracking this cold and wet weather. And Mickey, please tell us that this weather will be better for our trick-or-treaters tomorrow.
Do I get paid more if I do?
Maybe, let's see what you have to say there.
So I'd throw that out there.
New tonight, a Lowndes County Sheriff's deputy arrested on charges of attempted murder and animal cruelty. The sheriff says Michael J. Lewis allegedly shot into a car with a person and a dog inside last night on County Road 57 near County Road 42. The dog was shot and is now in critical condition. The person was not hurt. Lewis is also charged with DUI. He's been fired from the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department. He had only been working there 3 weeks. Welcome back. COVID cases across the nation are on the decline, but that doesn't mean there aren't any COVID concerns this Halloween. Kevin Cork is on your side tonight with how you can have a safe and fun Halloween. New at 10, we're on your side looking at the impact all that trick-or-treating candy can have on your teeth. Now, Dr. Monique Hill with Contemporary Smiles in Hoover says parents shouldn't be too concerned with one night of candy. In fact, she says a common misconception is that sugar is the only food that causes cavities and tooth decay. But she says all foods can cause damage if you don't practice good dental hygiene. She recommends allowing children to have a few pieces of candy after a meal, say as like dessert. She says fun-sized treats are the best because they can help parents and caregivers control the amount of sugar their children are eating. And many parents might also be surprised that chocolate candies are better than some other treats.
Your Laffy Taffies, your Skittles, and all the good stuff. The Sour Patch Kids, all the stuff that we want to eat. Those are the worst because they're sticky. And so they tend to stay on your teeth longer, making it hard for your saliva to kind of wash away those sugars. Chocolates, believe it or not, are the best because they melt away quicker. They're not going to stick on your teeth as long as a taffy or a caramel.
Bad news for caramel lovers like myself. And Dr. Hill says candy in moderation isn't necessarily a bad thing, and children should be allowed to have some fun this Halloween, but she encourages parents to stick to their normal dental routines, brushing and flossing twice a day. New at 10. Oh my gosh, Mickey, take a look at this. A dose of adorable from Children's Hospital of Alabama, where these teeny tiny NICU babies are celebrating their first Halloween. Oh my gosh, look at the pirate. Nurses getting creative with the costumes and also these pictures. We wish these sweet babies and their families all the best. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's too much. It's just too much.
If trick-or-treaters don't get there on time, I'm eating all the candy.
Yes.
I'm telling you kids, if you don't come up, you have to be on time, be prompt, out of there by 8.
You know, I wish I had trick-or-treaters coming to my place, but I don't think there are going to be any knocking on my door this year.
Candy with you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.